and Happy New Year. Hold on. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. It is finally 2021, and I know everybody has been looking forward to this new year beginning and hopefully just seeing what possibilities we have for the future to come. And I know everybody's making their New Year's resolutions and their strategic planning for the year and their plans and what they're going to do to make transformations in their lives. So today I just kind of wanted to talk about an issue that's come up actually a couple of times in the last week or two. Um, People asking me for help with a state for a loved one. Unfortunately, with the pandemic and COVID out there, we have seen a lot of deaths, and mostly what I've been seeing are individuals that have died without a will. So, what really does happen whenever you die without a will depends on how the property is owned. And I know that I've talked about the need for wills and everything before, but I thought I would just revisit this topic because it is a really, really an important thing, and probably one of the most important things you can do for your loved ones is to make these plans ahead of time for what happens whenever you can't make decisions for yourself or whenever you pass away, what's going to happen with your property. So a lot of times everybody says, well, everything's going to go to my spouse, and unfortunately that doesn't always happen. So there's only a couple rare occasions that it'll happen. And so if all of your children are also the children of your spouse that survives you, then your spouse will get everything. Um, if you have any children from a prior relationship, that's not necessarily the case because your children inherit your part and your spouse would retain any interest that they have, plus the ability to continue living in any real estate that you have. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they get your interest. So they don't necessarily own the house outright when you pass. And there's the easiest, most affordable way to do that is to make sure you have it in a will. And you don't have to spend a fortune getting a fancy will if you are one of those that just don't have a whole lot of property and you don't think that it's worth the little bit of money that you pay to plan now. You can do a handwritten will. It just has to be completely in your handwriting. So there really is no excuse to not have a will, um, especially when all it takes is a little bit of time. And the effect that it can have after you pass is just astronomical difference. When you pass away without a will, your family members have to go to the court and not only ask to be able to administer your estate, so that's kind of like a management of gathering all your assets, paying bills, etc. And that's what they would need to do to get access to a lot of bank accounts, be able to sell any property, and get the creditors to stop harassing them. Um, they also have to file an heirship proceeding. So that's two different lawsuits that they have to pay filing fees for. It's extra money that they have to pay to an attorney because if there's multiple beneficiaries that are possible, then they can't represent themselves in court because that's considered practicing law without a license. And you have to get two witnesses and you have to have those witnesses come to court. And it's quite a bit of work and it more than triples the cost of administration. Plus, you have to get an extra attorney called an ad litem that searches for any unknown heirs to prove to the court that we do have all of the potential or possible heirs in front so that the court can make a ruling on who your heirs are. So it's a pretty long, drawn out, expensive process. Um, when if you just get a will done, there's no witnesses that are required. There are now, if you do a handwritten will, you will have to bring in some witnesses to prove up your handwriting, but you don't have to do the heirship proceeding um, in most cases. Really, your best bet is to just get a professional will done. they're going to be done correctly. They're going to be able to be taken to court um, very easily with just the executor and the attorney that they hire. It's not a super expensive process as compared to when you don't have a will. So that is my encouragement for you, wanting, is to get in charge of your legacy. Make this is the one thing that you can do to control what happens to your property after you pass. If you have children that you don't know would spend their inheritance wisely, you can leave it in a trust. If you have, one child that's pretty much been disowned and you don't want them to get any of your property, leave a will. You can disinherit them in the will. If you have that one individual that you've raised as your own child, they aren't legally yours, you haven't adopted them, and they're not biologically your child. If you don't have a will, they get nothing under state law. So those are some things to consider. At Boswell Law Firm, we have some very, very affordable packages, and we can definitely get you what you need for a price that can fit your budget. So if you're interested or you want more information on a will and some of our packages that we offer, you can just reach out to me. You can direct message me through Facebook, or you can send me an email at service@Boswell, Texas Law, and Texas is spelled out. Or give us a call at 832-919-6595. And it's an easy process. We can get all your documents prepared and do everything remotely, so you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own house to get your will done. We're even able to sign and notarize remotely. So once again, any information that you want or any questions you have, you can message me or give us a call, and we can give you your free 15-minute consultation, and I can tell you all the things that you can do to help protect your legacy and to make sure that your loved ones aren't having to go through a whole lot of trouble and expense and hassle. So everybody, I just want to wish you a very, very happy new year, and let's make 2021 the most productive and successful year to date. Bye until next week.